Matthew, this is Tom Kelly. I just want your impressions on the MLB Draft, the Red Sox picks.
I like what the pick with Trey Ball. He's a high school arm, a highly projectable arm. You don't get a chance. The Red Sox are an organization that doesn't get a chance to pick that high in the draft too often. The last time they picked 7 was 93 when they took Trot Nixon. So once every 20 years, the Red Sox are picking that high. I like the fact that they went with a high ceiling type guy with that first pick that they had in the first round, because you don't get too many chances to pick that high in the draft. So I was happy that they didn't take the more safe approach and took a college guy who, could maybe have an impact in a few years. I like the fact that they went out and they got a guy like Trey Ball who, could turn into an absolute stud, has the potential to. Very good flame out. High school pitchers are a big risk when you take those guys, but they've had success in the past. They took Webster out of high school. They got a kid, Henry Owen, who's pitching very well in Salem. They took him out of high school in the first round. So I liked what they did. Also, the catcher, Denny, in the third round is a guy that they could probably throw some money at and get him to sign, because he's a top prospect and might go to college, or he might go to pro ball, and the Red Sox should have the money to give him a very good offer to try and lure him into pro baseball.
All right. Now, the biggest topic last season for the Red Sox was how much they struggled, and one of the guys was Daniel Bard, who came out of the bullpen to the starting role. He currently, right now, is in AA, and I gotta ask, how is Daniel Bard's progress?
It could be better. I'm not going to be a complete pessimist about Bard. He has been shut down. He was not effective for the Sea Dogs, and was especially not particularly good after he came back from Boston. He made that 2 relief appearance stint in Boston, and came back and frankly couldn't, find the plate whatsoever. So he's been shut down. He's throwing simulated games to hitters right now. He's still on our active roster, but he won't be in games anytime soon. But we're very fortunate here in Portland to have one of the best pitching coaches in the minor leagues in Bob Kipper. Bard's been working very well with him, and I've seen some of the simulated games, and he's still got the stuff. He just needs to be able to find it in games somehow, and we'll see if that ever happens. There certainly has to be questions as to whether he will ever get back to where he was, but he's still got stuff. The question is, can he find it in games, and that's what they're working on here in Portland now. So a work in progress for Daniel Bard at the moment.
Yeah, and another player I wanted to ask you about was Alan Webster. He had come up for 2 starts. He had played against Kansas City. He did pretty well in that game, then only lasted an inning and 2/3 against Minnesota, giving up 6 or 7 runs. So how is he doing? Can you give us an update, and do you know if he might come up anytime soon?
Yeah, Webster's pitched very effectively at AAA Pawtucket. He's another guy who's probably, I would think, has a chance to earn his way into the rotation for the Red Sox this year, especially with the struggles that Felix Dubron has had at times this season. But Webster's been great. Yeah, he did get lit up by Minnesota in his second start, pitched well against Kansas City in his first start. Webster's a guy I've actually never seen pitch live, so I can't speak too much to Webster's ability, because I was not in Portland last year when he made 2 starts for the Sea Dogs. But the scouts just rave about this kid's ability. I've talked about Webster a lot with the scouts who have come through Portland, and he's definitely going to be a huge part of the Red Sox future going forward. I would assume he would be in the Red Sox starting rotation next year, and he might earn his way into the rotation by the end of this season. And the Red Sox just got an absolute steal in the Gonzalez trade to the Dodgers last year, because when you get 2 guys like Webster and De La Rosa, who's pitching well at Pawtucket right now, and you dump $260 million worth of salary, that's a great deal, and the Red Sox have positioned themselves very well in the future because of that deal. And hats off to Ben Cherington, because he really took it to the Dodgers on that trade.
Matthew, shifting from defense to offense, who on the Sea Dogs this year has contributed the most offensively?
2 guys, and we'll start with the big one, the name everybody knows about, Xander Bogaert. He's the 20-year-old shortstop. He is absolutely phenomenal. He is easily the best shortstop to come through the Red Sox system since Hanley Ramirez. Most people think he's probably better than Hanley was at this point in Xander's career, and he is something else. His power is absolutely off the charts. And I'll tell you guys, they pitched him like a big leaguer. At 20 years old at Double-A, they pitched him like a big leaguer since day one, and he has adjusted beautifully to it. He is not long for Portland. I would imagine there are some serious discussions in the Red Sox organization at this very moment about bringing Bogaert up to Triple-A, despite the fact that he's only 20 years old, which is just practically unheard of. Bogaert is the real deal, and within the next year to year and a half, he will be the starting shortstop for Boston Red Sox. I have no doubt about that. He's leading the team in average. He's just an absolutely phenomenal hitter. I can't stress that enough. He is the real deal. Michael Almanzar, also the third baseman. He leads the team with 11 home runs. He's kind of been a surprise for the Sea Dogs this year. It'll be interesting to see what becomes of Michael Almanzar, because he's kind of put himself back on the map with this great performance to start off his Double-A career.
Yes, and as we know, prospects in AAA or AA are big when it comes to trades at the trade deadline. So I got to ask you, when the trade deadline comes up, could there be a Red Sox prospect that the Red Sox would be willing to give up?
I'm sure there would be, and the Red Sox have a lot of flexibility right now because they have one of the deepest systems in the minor leagues, and part of that goes back to that Gonzalez trade last year, the big trade with the Los Angeles Dodgers, because that really helped them retool their farm system. It is an extremely deep farm system. Everybody knows the name, Xander Bogaert and the top guys, Bogaerts and Jackie Bradley Jr., but they have one of the deepest systems in the majors. So there are plenty of guys out there who the Red Sox, I'm sure, would be willing to part with. I can guarantee you they're not trading Bogaert to Bradley. That's for certain. But you have a lot of guys in the system like Drake Britton, who has a lot of talent, just sometimes has not been able to put it together. He has a legal issue as well. But Drake Britton has a very, very good arm, and I could see the Red Sox being willing to trade him. Brandon Workman's another guy. They might be willing to part with him. Anthony Renato has really reestablished himself. They have so much depth that I would not be surprised if the Red Sox were willing to part with some minor league talent at a big league pitcher. It's hard to say who exactly that guy would be, but I'll say that they're probably willing to talk about most of the players in their system outside of Bogaerts and Bradley.
All right, well, we thank you very much for joining us here on K Sports Sunday, and we hope the Sea Dogs can pull out a win tonight.
All right, thank you so much, guys, and it's going to be fun, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
All right, thank you again to Matt McCarthy, radio broadcaster of the Portland Sea Dogs. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we have some very interesting stories, including a girl who sat next to Justin Bieber who's making headlines all of a sudden. Also, we have a rare guy going after Rafael Nadal at the French Open, and we have the top plays of the day. So stick around, and we'll be right back to K Sports Sunday.